Matthew Rorie. I am playing Spider-Man. This
Jeff
is
Grubb.
Yes, this is New York City. What do you think of this? What do you think of looking around New York City?
I have also been playing a little bit of this Spider-Man Remastered for the PC platform. That's personal computer for those of you who might not have one. It seems like a pretty solid port. I'll go ahead and say it right up front.
Yes, this is the same New York City that has been in Spider-Man for the PlayStation computing platform. That, however, now it is on a real PC. Let's jump around. Let's do this.
And I didn't know if I was supposed to say something after a real PC, like you're comparing your PC to other people's PCs. But
well, listen, this is definitely a real PC. I'll tell you that much.
What are you running with here?
We are running a 3080 Ti in this, I think.
Okay. Yeah, I have a 3080 as well, and we'll dig into the settings a little bit, but
yes.
it seems to run pretty smoothly. I will say that I even like the ray tracing in this, which I was not expecting to. I don't know if you have that turned on here, but we'll find some puddles in a bit.
We'll go to setting. Yes, we'll find the puddles, and we'll take a look at those puddles real deep.
We'll take a FOV up. They've been adding features to this pre-release build almost daily. I got an email about the build on. Oh no, somebody's inside that wall. Go look forward. Look right in front of you.
Oh, my friend.
Oh my gosh.
My friend. I'm here. I'm Spider-Man. I'm here. This is my speciality.
No.
And I'm getting a little bit of a glitch over the screen as well. Yeah, something's popping up as well. Let me see if I can talk to this guy and see if that'll fix things. High five. Yeah, dude. Oh, okay. He walked out of the wall. You did it. You saved yourself. You don't need Spider-Man. Yeah.
But you can see some of the puddles here are already like, I don't know if the street's supposed to be wet or not, but the reflections look nice.
Wet streets. Yes, these are clearly screen space reflections. Let's see if we can find one. Here's one. Yeah, look, it's reflecting the car, but if we get the car out of here, it goes away. That's a screen space reflection, but it still looks real pretty.
Character reflections on floors, and especially I've gone through the tutorial, like the shiny floors in Fisk's tower, all reflected people really. Oh, hey, just like in Hawkeye, just like in real world as well, and as I'm not familiar with New York City's layout, but
Hawkeye invented this. That's
good. They built it in Hawkeye, and then they put it here.
They just left the set. So yeah, I guess the buildings are still reflective. So there's that. Let's take a look at some of the settings here. See what happens as we mess around with ray tracing and stuff. So the big thing is this is Spider-Man, a game that was exclusive to PlayStation on PC, and that's great. More people should get to play this game. I really like it. But obviously, it's going to give you a little bit more graphical juice. It's already pretty good on PS5. They've added stuff like ray tracing, at least in Miles Morales. I don't know. I never went back to the remastered one on PlayStation to see like what the ray tracing was like on there. But we could turn it on here, and who knows what that's going to do to our stuff while we are streaming this. But we'll take a look here. I'm gonna leave everything on high object range. Let's go all the way. Let's get messed up.
See what happens.
Yeah, absolutely.
Living on the edge now. So they also have an FOV slider 2 as well. That was a big thing that people were talking about. I like FOV sliders in my games, especially my PC games. I never see a reason not to have it. I know sometimes it can screw up like first-person games, but yeah, it's looking okay.
Yeah. So far, I do have DLSS turned on as like my frame rate saver thing. So they have the bunch of options for that as well. Let's see here. Where did it go? Displaying graphics. Display, was it here? Yes. So the upscaling method, I have DLSS. They also have FSR 2.0 as well. So that's the much better version of the AMD FreeSync. I can't remember what the hell the name of it actually is. But it's very useful for. It works a lot like DLSS, where it uses like temporal data to improve the next frame and stuff like that. And you can set, okay, I want my dynamic resolution scaling to be set for 60 frames per second, or I have a 165 frame per second monitor here. You can go all the way up to 165. You can go beyond that if you have something higher than that. But yeah,
I cranked mine up pretty well too, and I was playing at 21 by 9, the whole 3440x 1440 full resolution, and the frame rate was very stable. I would say high. I wasn't running a frame rate meter or anything like that, but it was really I usually turn VSync off, but you do you, buddy.
I'm gonna do
especially 1080p. 1080p. I doubt you need VSync.
Yeah, right. You're probably right. Let's turn off VSync. Let's just go for. Let's live our life.
Try and see.
Let's be free. Apply changes.
Scroll down a little bit more. I think there is.
Oh sure, yeah.
I think there is the FOV slider somewhere? I'm curious to try that because I don't think I fooled around with it. I think it's at the bottom of this page.
It is not letting me scale down any lower to this page. I wonder if it's
graphics.
graphics.
Try graphics, and
there we
I
go.
think it's at the bottom of graphics. There we go. Crank it. Oh, there we go. Real life FOV.
Let's warp New York City.
That's a pretty... that goes all the way up to 25. That's interesting. It doesn't look super different to me.
No, and it's not giving us the actual, like, degrees, but whatever.
Oh, well, you look like you're moving faster, though, so that is... oh, boy. That is...
in
motion. This is really interesting.
Let's make people sick. Hell yeah.
Oh, my God. Okay,
right,
you might need to turn this off.
Yeah, hang on. Let me get up here on this building. We'll take a look at these windows and see what the reflections look like and stuff. But, yeah, this is good stuff. Oh, there we go.
Yeah, it's RT to wall run.
Yes. Yeah, there we go.
Hey, there we go.
All right, let's turn this off. There we go.
That's a lot.
Display graphics. We'll set that field of view to 5.
Yeah, maybe. I like it. I like high FOV. But
yeah, but you got the widescreen. I'm here on a 16:9, like a chump.
Yeah, true. Yeah, it's going to be a little rough for you.
That's right.
Yeah, it's interesting because they also said this is Steam Deck qualified as of this week. If we have time for that, we might try to check it out.
Yes, it was. I had to patch it in the background. We'll take a look at that here in a second and see how it's going.
Yeah, the Sony's PC ports have been getting better. I mean, I had not too many problems with Horizon Zero Dawn. I played through all of that. I think maybe I got back to it after they'd patched it up. Days Gone was one of my favorite games of last year. The PC port was fine. God of War has had a decent... I'd say it's hard to say. I remember there being some issues with some of the God of War stuff, but it is fully moddable now. So if you want to play as a nude Kratos...
and I do.
That's available to you. You can't get that on PlayStation, man.
You were telling me how we could have him without eyebrows and a beard, which is really that's always been Kratos to me in my brain.
And dead eyes. And dead eyes was the third part of that. Yeah. So they have a pretty decent and solid, PC port operation. They're definitely putting out more stuff. I'm kind of hoping Ghost of Tsushima comes out, but
I think you will. I think you can count on that.
My problem with Spider-Man these games is that I get overwhelmed in combat a lot. Like I find the combat in these games to be just kind of a lot to deal with, and this is a me problem, not a game problem, probably, because I've beaten the Arkham Asylum games, and I had no problems with that kind of combat system. But for some reason, I think the verticality of Spider-Man here makes this a little difficult for me to keep track of all the options that I have. I don't think the tutorial for this game does any favors in that regard too, because it goes through a
lot going on.
Things.
You're right.
Yeah, I got to Fisk at the beginning of the game on PS4, and I thought it was one of those fights you're supposed to lose to move on because he beat me so soundly.
You know what? The first time I played this game, I really struggled with Fisk as well. And after playing all through this and playing through Miles Morales, doing that Fisk fight again, it was no problem for me now. But it's like, okay, I've played through dozens of hours of these games at this point, so I totally get what you're going for there. Where it's like, yeah, that is it can be a little bit overwhelming at first. And you don't have a ton of tools there in that Fisk fight either, and yet it still feels overwhelming.
It just definitely feels like they have a punch tutorial and a dodge tutorial, and then there's like a million. Like you can use your web shooters as like pistols, and you can grab stuff off the ground and swing it around, and like a million different things popping up really quick. Even inside that 20-minute tutorial, it just feels like it was felt a lot to me. I tried Miles Morales too.
Mr. Lee's probably in the kitchen.
I don't know why. It's just something about the combat system of this game is a little. Just makes me feel like I'm not doing it right constantly. So, I don't know. Maybe that's just me.
Yeah, I've been playing a lot of this on Steam Deck. It's been good. I think that kind of no matter what you do, if you're coming to this from playing it before, you're not going to feel. It's not like a whole new experience. Like this game is fine. It was fine on PS4. Even better on PS5 if you played it again there, or if you played it for the first time there. Don't come here expecting like, okay, this is going to feel brand new. That's just not what is happening with the PlayStation ports. PlayStation 5 is just kind of too good. It's too powerful as is. So, but it's cool if you have a ray tracing card. Here's a game doing ray tracing and stuff like that. So if you want to take advantage of that stuff, it's like there it works. There's the close over there. It's not screen space. If it goes off the screen space, it's still reflecting. How exciting is that to you is going to really depend on who you are and how much you spend on your graphics card and how much you've convinced yourself that matters to you.
Yeah, I will say that I usually play games with ray tracing off because I find the frame rate hit to be more annoying than whatever minor kind of shadow effects I'll be getting from ray tracing. I haven't been super impressed by ray tracing in a lot of things, but here the hit on frame rate seems to be pretty minimal. I haven't noticed a huge one when I turn it on high. In that case, I'll probably just leave it on. I find a lot of the ray tracing conversation. I feel like I'm the ray tracing truther.
Well, I mean, I think the issue has been like, developers got really good at doing lighting and reflections without ray tracing, and ray tracing makes it easier for developers to do those things, but it just ends up looking as good as what they had before. The real hopeful secret sauce of ray tracing is global illumination, and that is very difficult and causes a lot of resource hogging and ruins performance even more. So most games don't even try that. So we're in this weird place with ray tracing where it's like, it's not making games look that much better in a lot of cases.
I think the goal eventually is to have it like when anti-aliasing came out, it was a big frame rate hit too, and this is mid 90s or something like that, and eventually became basically free.
Yes,
you can flip it on, no frame rate hit at all, and hopefully eventually ray tracing at high settings with the next. I'm assuming next gen will be. God, what would it be like a few months out from 4080s hitting, aren't we?
Yeah, it feels like those cards are going to get announced imminently, like within a couple of weeks.
Yeah, they've been cutting prices on the 3090s and 80s, I think. So. Oh, Aunt May, she's so proud.
Yeah. Would you want to put Marissa Tomei? Would you like to mod her into this game?
Yeah, I mean, if you can do, that's one of my favorite things about all these mods. Like, you can play as Homer Simpson and Bart Simpson in God of War now. You can mod out the, stuff with Thomas the Tank Engine has been in all these games. It's like, I think the big, so I find modding to be a little confusing. Like, I find, the one mod I've really done, it's just tricky to get everything in order with launchers and everything like that. I've used the ultra widescreen mod on Elden Ring, and that's the big one for me, a flawless widescreen. But I will say to this, I've been playing this in 21:9. It looks great. Like, I haven't noticed anything. The one thing I would like is this is going to be very specific to people who have big monitors, which everybody knows I do. The UI elements for fighting are not in the very corners of your screen. And on 21:9, I like to have the option to have them like in the middle of the view. Mm-hmm. I think Horizon did that okay, if I recall correctly. It's been a while since I played that PC port, but like especially if you have like a rectangle of UI elements that you have to keep on track of, it's handy to have those in the middle of the screen where they would be on a 16:9 monitor and not stretch all the way off to the sides, because sometimes you can miss information that way. So that's my one kind of complaint right now. But like I said, they've been patching in all kinds of stuff. Like, I think ray tracing, hopefully I'm not giving anything away, but they were talking about adding ray tracing like yesterday morning before the embargo was up. So they're definitely getting stuff in there up to the last minute, which, so far so good. I haven't noticed any crashes or anything too bad, but they're definitely working on this up to the deadline of release, which this comes out tomorrow, if you're not familiar.
I am going to switch to the Steam Deck now, so I'm going to leave it here. Hopefully it'll start even if I'm running this game on PC. It might get mad. Let's see. Play anyway.
Go for it.
So
I'll keep talking.
You know what? I'm gonna have to. We'll have to close this version of it. That's fine. Let me plug this in.
That's fine.
We'll just switch over to the Steam Deck.
I want to see your beautiful face.
Yes.
Grubb.
Let's see here. Let's go over here, and I will switch over to that instead. Let's see, just game, and there we go. Oh, it's mad at me about trying to do something here.
Oh, are you logged in on Steam on both PC and Steam?
Yeah. I'll have to close this. I'll do that. Let's do that.
Fine.
First.
I can rap at you. I'll talk. I got a Red Bull in me on an empty stomach.
All right. Hell yeah.
Oh man. Whoa. That is a. It's a Windows 95.
Right. It is mad at me about this. Let me see if I can get the thing here, the touch screen to fix it.
Well, I don't know if this will be archived, so I probably shouldn't sing anymore. But how are you doing today, Jeff Grubb? It's been a busy week here on GiantBomb.com.
Yeah, I'm doing pretty good. Yeah, I had fun starting that SnowRunners thing with Dan. We got that up on the site. I been having fun with Game S mornings every day. How about you?
I got a question for you. From Twitch. Drift23 wants to know, is the second EA Marvel game, if it is Iron Man and if it is early in development? Do you know of any putative Iron Man games?
I have said I will not be confirming what that game is. I know it. The first one I said was Black Panther. Black Panther, I believe, will be coming out after this other game, but the other game is also in early development. I'll say that. They are both in early development.
Oh, it could be a ferrous human being. We'll find out together. At some point.
It's going to take time. Let's see here. This thing might be mad at me too. Let's see. Oh, there we go.
Real quick, while we're talking, so this is Marvel's Spider-Man Remastered. This is coming out tomorrow on Steam. I am not sure about other platforms. This will be full cost. This is a $60 game. It looks like Guardians of the Galaxy is still $60 as well. Marvel's Avengers is $39.99. Lego Marvel's Avengers $19.99, and Marvel's Midnight Suns is available for adding to your wish list on certain sales platforms. I believe this is on Epic as well.
Yeah, I think so. Most of the Sony games have been coming out on both, right?
Yep. I played through. While we're wrapping, I gotta say, if you haven't played Days Gone and you have a decent PC, you got to try that game out. That game is seriously one of my favorite things that come out in the last few years. Got a bad rap. It starts really slow.
I bet it get updated to a point where I bet it's pretty good now, especially on PC.
Yeah, no, I think the game is fantastic. They patch it a bunch, but yeah, Days Gone. Try it out. Some say it might be. Oh, are we on the Steam Deck now?
We are on the Steam Deck now, everybody. Here it is. Let's see. Let's go to. We got a refresh rate. Let's put the refresh rate up to 60. Let's
do it. Let's live on the edge.
Yes, absolutely. Are you? It's gonna be mad for a second. Hopefully, it'll come back.
Oh no.
There we go. There we go.
Are you plugged in on your? I guess you would be, wouldn't you?
Yes, I am. We're plugged in,
dumb.
and no, it's all right. Yeah, we gotta ask those questions. All right. So once we A through these menus, let me go to the settings here. As I've been playing this, I think it's like rounding off the text here a little bit because of the upscaling in the system itself. Let's go to display and graphics, and let's try FSR 2.0 now because that is something they've added recently. Actually, IGTI. That's the Intel one.
Yeah, weird. Those video cards are doing fantastic, gangbusters. Way to go, Intel.
Yeah, it seems like the drivers are a hell of a mess over there.
Yeah.
What's been interesting is the Steam Deck version started off and listen, they never said it was going to run on Steam Deck when I tried to run on Steam Deck initially. And the reason is because it was all just a black smudge. You could not see anything. The game was not working at all. Then all of a sudden, they're like, hey, we updated it. It works on Steam Deck. And it did. It worked on Steam Deck. It had support for FSR 1.0. They've now since added 2.0, which should be a substantial improvement.
It's twice as much. I mean, it's 2x. Right. It's easily a
2x improvement.
Better.
So we got it here, and you can see it gets above 40 frames per second here pretty often.
This looks good.
Oh my god, I'm so sorry. It has motion control turned on. What is going on? Why would it do that to me? Why would it do that to me? Okay, all right.
This looks decent for a Steam Deck. I mean, it definitely doesn't look as good as your 3080, but
yeah, the 3080 Ti is obviously going to be better than this. But I'll tell you, on the small screen, running at around 45 frames per second, this is fantastic. Why would they turn on motion controls? That's so wild.
Why would we turn it off?
It started default. Yeah, I guess I'd have to figure out how to turn that off.
It all started with Dark Sector. That was the
that's right.
The rot that started this off in gaming. I can't play anything with motion control on. I just can't do it.
I tell you what though, this is an incredible portable game. When you talk about okay, this works on the Steam Deck and it works. It's not okay, you're going to be struggling through it. You set that refresh rate on your thing to 45 frames per second. You save your battery, and you're going to get 2.5 hours of this. That is incredible. That's how I've played most of it so far, and I've had zero issues with it. I'm digging it. Now, let's go back. Let's look at those puddles. Let's see what the puddles look like on Steam Deck.
Did I misspeak? I think Dark Sector was one of the first PS3 games that had motion. Or was that? It was that.
Layer. I think. Are you thinking of Layer?
I'm thinking of that game, that PS3 launch game, the lady with the shockingly red hair. And I think that
Heavenly Sword. We were just talking about that.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah. On one other show. I can't even remember where now.
Man.
Bombcast. I think.
The puddles do look wet.
They still look wet, which is all I want for my puddles. Give me some sopping wet New York City streets, and I'll be a happy Spider-Man.
Go for some rain right now.
Yeah, of course. But I think this is fantastic. It maybe let's see if we can get into combat or something. I can head to feast. See if it's gonna give me a thing on the side here. There's usually a way to bring that stuff up, make it happen, but I can't remember how to do that. off hand.
Yeah, I mean, for people asking, there was a puddle gate with this game before it came out on PS4.
Oh, yeah.
There's a screenshot of puddles with reflections. They got a little toned down for the final release.
Yeah, and it's like they might not even got toned down. People just thought they got toned down because it was like a different angle.
One screenshot was
yeah, and it's like it was just a really stupid thing.
People use bullshot to take phrase, for screenshots that don't reflect the final game, but the game looked perfectly good. If you were really complaining about that, that might be a minuscule even for me to take issue with. But
yeah, it was completely like one of those anxiety things where the game was not out yet, and so people were getting like worried about, oh my god, it's not going to be as good as we were hoping. And as soon as the game was out and people got it in their hands, they had a chance to play it. Nobody ever thought about the puddles ever again. Like, no one cared because it was not a problem. It was never a real problem.
Yeah, it was not a watchdog situation in the end. So.
Right. I can, I was playing an open world Spider-Man game with great swinging on my Steam Deck before, Spider-Man 2 for GameCube using the Dolphin emulator. And this one is a little bit of an improvement even. So there we go. You get the modern games, you get the classic games on your Steam Deck. This stuff is fantastic.
I stopped playing Spider-Man games on my Atari, which is my favorite Spider-Man game.
Of course,
you climb that tower over and over again in that game. It's pretty simplistic, but it's very true to what I believe Spider-Man to be.
Yes, that's in my heart. That's what it's always been.
I never finished this game though. Maybe I'll think about going back.
Yeah,
on PS5,
I mean, the Miles Morales is coming to PC pretty soon. That one's a bit shorter and probably a little bit more tighter in terms of like what it has you doing. This one just has you doing a little bit too many side missions that are pretty samey.
Okay. Yeah, the electrical stuff in Miles Morales was the problem is I got PS Plus or whatever PlayStation, the middle tier where you actually can download games, and I installed Ghost of Tsushima and Miles Morales at the same time, and was kind of flipping back and forth to check them both out and going through the tutorials. That's a bad idea. Like there are if you're trying to do the tutorials for two different kind of action combat games at the same time, and they're not similar in control schemes, it's pretty easy to get confused. Like when I tried to play Horizon Zero Dawn and Breath of the Wild at the same time, and had very interesting kind of I can't climb up everything in Horizon as it turns out.
Right, yeah, that would be very frustrating. Yeah. Let's see, I see some red dots here. What is that? Some enemies.
If anybody has any questions about this, I'm in both the Twitch chat and the Giant Bomb chat before we wrap up. We probably don't need to go.
Yeah, I was going to try to get some combat real quick, but I'm like, no enemies are popping up for me. Those guys are red on the map.
Find a there we go. You got some red there.
Yeah, but I just went there. I didn't see anybody.
They're inside the room.
Oh wait, here they are. Yep, you're right. Good man. All right, hey, I don't like you. I'm Spider-Man. I'm gonna beat you up. So keep your eye on the frame rate counter up there, everybody. We'll see if it dips or anything. As long as it stays above 40, I think that's a very admirable thing for the Steam Deck in combat. We're getting 37 here and there.
Somebody was saying that if you lock 42 hertz and 42 FPS as a cap on Steam Deck, apparently the developers of the Steam Deck, a company called Valve, I believe, apparently that is kind of the sweet spot for locking things in.
Absolutely. That's what I've been doing for most games. That's what I've been doing for this, and it has absolutely been a sweet spot in terms of quality and battery life. It's it really saves a lot of battery life, and yet it still looks very smooth in terms of frame rate. 60 better, but it's not. 60 is not so much better than 40 that it makes this world of difference when you're holding this small screen in your hands. That's pretty good stuff right there.
So would you rather remote play this on your Steam Deck from your PC or run it like this?
No, I would rather run it like this because anytime I get any hitch from remote play, it bums me out, and I'm just like I'm like I'd rather not.
Third-person games are a little bit better with the input lag. Like, it's not that big of a deal, but I can definitely see, like, why would you even introduce that at all as an option? Somebody else is asking, Rory, are you getting a Steam Deck? Does this make you want one? I have not gotten a Steam Deck yet. I haven't ordered one. I was really enthused by the Steam Deck when I got up. We saw it in Seattle last year before it came out. But I mostly stay at home now, and I am rarely too far from my PC that has, a 3080 in it, so... if I start traveling again, which, given these airline issues, probably not going to happen, but
I'll say for me, the Steam Deck has been this great thing to play on the couch while kids or wife watch a television show, and it's in fact it's been fantastic for that. It really enables me to like spend time with the family, and having games like this is just it crushes it. It's like, okay, this is everything I need.
Excellent.
But I think I think that's going to do it for us here. This is Spider-Man running on the Steam Deck. This is what it's like on the Steam Deck. We ran on the PC, a real big boy PC as well, so you can see that as well. Thank you, everybody, for watching. Hey, Matthew Rorie.
Oh, shit. We forgot to, the one thing we forgot to do is turn everything down as low as possible. I don't think we'll have time for it today, but maybe it's one of my favorite things to do on PC, quick looks, but we'll try to get there at some point on a real PC and show that off. Maybe UPF or something like that. Always one of the favorite things to do. Oh, dear Lord.
That's okay. Kiddo's just dropping stuff, but it's all right. It's meant to be dropped.
Yeah. Excellent. Well, thank you so much, Jeff Grubb.
Thank you, Matt Rorie.
It's a busy week here on Giant Bomb. There's something coming up right after this, isn't there?
Yes, I'm going to keep going, and I'm going to play Rumbleverse. So if you're watching live on the stream, stick with us. Otherwise, for the quick look watchers, we'll catch you next time.